Okay, there I am. I was gonna say, where am I? Why the fuck are we talking about plugging stuff into me? Yes, here I am. Yeah, and then you went and turned it around, Kei-chan. It's all your fault. I completely forgot that I wanted to add my new pumpkin to stream because it's Halloween time. So I'm just gonna do that now. Although it is on my slideshow, but I want it to be permanently there too. Okay, good luck, Kei-chan. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, it's so big. $45 days. Guys, where should I put the pumpkin? I didn't think this far. I don't know where to put it. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, I gotta start the timer, yeah. Fuck you, Pyro, yeah. I was not prepared for this, yeah. Joey, yeah. Is pumpkin chica, yeah. Poor Mew, yeah. Where am I putting pumpkin, yeah. I'm gonna kill Etta, yeah. He did this to me, yeah. I don't know where to put pumpkin. Yeah. I guess I can just sit there, yeah. Maybe? I don't know if I'm okay with that. Yep, there it was, yeah. It's just gonna sit here next to me like this for now, yeah. I mean, Kenyo has a point, Mew. Yeah. You brought it upon yourself. Yeah. I can just go there for now, I guess. Yeah. I don't know if I want to know. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's just gonna be like that for now. Yeah. Yo, 10 minutes is a really long fucking time. Yeah. Yo, I pinned Bajawi. Yeah. That's a lie, Mew. Yeah. So you're not always a good boy. Yeah. Bajawi! Again. Yeah. I pinned you. Yeah. Pyro really gonna sit here and make me fucking read and say yeah at the end of every sentence, yeah. Not always, though, Mew. Yeah. I hate it, yeah. I'm pretty sure I made it once a stream, yeah. So it can only happen once a stream, yeah. This is a horrible redeem, yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna kill Etta, yeah. Shit, I have it once per hour, yeah. It's too late. I don't remember if you did it or if I did it, but somebody already accepted it, yeah. So I gotta do this for 6.5 more minutes, yeah. I'm going and changing that right now, yeah, because I cannot do this once an hour, yeah. I don't know, Bajawi, yeah. I'm not gonna survive, yeah. Absolutely not, Mew, yeah. No, it's only allowed once per stream now, yeah. Because my god, 10 minutes is a long time. I'm not even halfway done yet, yeah. No, Mew, yeah. Oh, I said it 1 redemption per user per stream. Yeah. Now it's just once a stream. Period. Yeah. Bajawi. Yeah. Are you serious with the cat puns right now? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Also, trying to force myself to remember to say yeah at the end of every sentence is very brain consuming, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna start reading so you can at least, I guess, hear the book with the nyas. Yeah. Yeah, my brain keeps braining and I don't like it, yeah. So we're on chapter 24, which is Arlo's perspective, yeah. Okay, Bajawi, sure. Yeah. You talk like that all the time, yeah. The darkness that had brought Arlo first to the Danforth spat all 4 of them out in the shadowy corner of the Indigo Bookstore's courtyard, a few blocks down from the Palace of Spring, yeah. The busy intersection of Bay and Bloor, not only one of the wealthiest shopping districts in the city, but home to several tourist attractions like the Royal Ontario Museum, meant there was plenty around to distract from their sudden reappearance, yeah. In the early stages of dusk, every lofty building donned a robe of steadily darkening molten orange and royal plum, as though ceremony for the prince's return, yeah. The thousands of pale lights from cars, signs, street lamps, and office spaces gleamed like its adorning jewels, yeah. Bajawi, I can't with you, yeah. Here we are, Nia. Right back into enemy territory, Nia. My thrill-seeking knows no bounds, Nausicaa announced, in a monotone sort of way, Nia. Mew, are you gonna type Nia in chat every time I say Nia? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Pahan and Aurelian stumbled away from her, the prince falling to his knees to vomit on the ground. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah. What just happened? Aurelian rasped, looking a little ill himself. Yeah. I have a feeling you'd actually understand the scientific explanation, but I don't. Yeah. Suffice it to know, you just experienced your first teleportation. Yeah. Hooray. Yeah. Aurelian's glower was far from amused. Please... Yeah. Please explain how that's possible. Yeah. Only the Wild Hunt possesses the ability for teleportation, and even they have rules to govern its use in this realm. Yeah. They're restricted from teleporting outside of night or into any building, yet you did this in daylight hours. Yeah. Nausicaa shrugged. Yeah. Are you a member of the Wild Hunt? Yeah. They wish. Yeah. She laughed. Yeah. What a terrible way to get around, Vahan muttered, peeling himself off the ground. Yeah. Arlo, meanwhile, had fared much better this time around. Yeah. She wasn't certain she'd ever get used to this method of travel entirely, but it satisfied her to note that all she felt now was vaguely disoriented. Yeah. How does this teleportation thing work? The prince added. Yeah. Can you teleport inside buildings too? Yeah. Can you go someplace you haven't been before? Yeah. Nausicaa considered her answer with a thoughtful tap to her chin. Yeah. Yes to both, but also no. Yeah. I can technically pop up anywhere, but it's crazy hard to do that when you don't know what you're knitting yourself back together out of. Yeah. It's a lot easier to get around these days, of course, because all I really need is a picture of the place I'm going, and the internet is all too happy to help with that. Yeah. That was the last yeah. My timer is going off. No more yeah. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Mew. No more yeah. It's been 10 minutes. Yo, it's Matt. No, why did it let you? Why did it let you? I'm so upset. Is the changes I made not going to take effect until until end of stream? Is that what it is? That's so rude. Cool, you're going to a comedy show? Mew, don't let me forget to start that in a second. Where was I? Oh, now it says no more until next stream? I don't know. How dare Twitch let you do that? So rude. Have fun at your comedy show, Matt. Mew, I'm pretty sure you, like, bribed Twitch or something. But okay. I'm gonna start the timer again. I guess I'm gonna say yeah at the end of every sentence, yeah. Now I gotta remember where I was at, yeah. Yeah, it should, hopefully it should be fun, yeah. If it's not, then that's not good, yeah. You can't message for 3 minutes, yeah? Oh, thank you for the follow, Music Girl, yeah. Because Mew was typing yeah every time I say yeah at the end of every sentence, yeah. Oh, you mean 3 seconds then, yeah? Because it's definitely not set to 3 minutes, and yeah. It better not be, yeah. It should be set to 3 seconds, yeah. Yeah, it's 3 seconds, yeah. Oh my gosh. Mew, you know every time there's a message in chat, my computer dings. Yeah. So I am getting a ding every time I say yeah, yeah. Good job, Matt, yeah. Yeah, it's 3 seconds, yeah. Not 3 minutes, yeah. Also, hello, Jimmy. Yeah. Yeah, Mew's in here being a nuisance. Yeah. Making me say yeah over and over and yeah. It's the tree. I blame the green. Right? What? Yeah. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing new. Yeah. Are, are you saying you're elevated, Matt? Yeah. True music girl. Yeah. First grade pizza classes. Yeah. I'm so confused. No, Jimmy, you don't need to kick him. That's okay. Yeah. Saying yeah so much is like starting to lock up my jaw. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's true, Matt. Yeah. I'm confused. I'm just still confused. I'm always confused. Yeah. Man, I sure do love hearing that ding every like 3 seconds. Yeah. Oh, Hadel, I can't do that. Yeah. Okay, Matt. Yeah. Okay, I figured that's what you meant after I thought about it for a second. Yeah. You just said it in a confusing way. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the reading now that I've figured out where I was at. Yeah. And I guess continue saying yeah at the end of the sentences. Yeah. Google Street View has the best thing was the best thing humans ever came up with. Yeah. Okay, Matt, have fun at your comedy show. Yeah, while being elevated. Yeah. Interesting, said Vahan, then turned back to Arlo. Yeah. Arlo? Yeah. Will you at least think about my request? Yeah. Mew, why did you not redeem first when you got here? Yeah. You let Jimmy do it instead. Yeah. Arlo had relayed to Vahan and Aurelian how she'd come upon the Reaper and everything she and Nausicaa had learned from their brief exchange with it. Yeah. Nausicaa remained unusually subdued throughout the conversation, and Arlo thought it best to leave out any mention of Furies in the recap. Yeah. My chat keeps getting flooded with nyas, and I can't read the messages fast enough. Yeah. True, Mew's a slacker, and yeah. Yeah, Mew, slow down, yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. I might need to remove that redeem, yeah. I'm sorry, Mew, yeah. I'll mod you back, Mew, yeah. No, did you just refund Mew, yeah? Mew, that's rude, yeah. I have a feeling Kenyo's probably just gonna redeem it again, yeah. It did though, Mew, yeah. I have the receipts. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess you're safe for now then, Mion, yeah. But what I have a feeling Kinyo might redeem it again after the counter's gone. Yeah. I said you're safe for now, Mion, yeah. I'm gonna try to catch it before you do so that I can accept it. Yeah, and then we have to do it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Kenyo, you're a mod. Yeah. Yeah, Kenyo, try to catch it so Mew doesn't refund it. Yeah. Now where was I again? Yeah. That's just rude, Mew. Yeah. I can still love you and time you out. Yeah. Where the fuck was I? Yeah. Oh my goodness. I really don't know where I was at. Yeah. Thank you, Mew. Yeah. Okay, I think I found where I'm at. Yeah. They'd wisely refrained from pressing Arlo any further, but here, apparently, on the cusp of parting ways, Vahan couldn't let her go without one last appeal. Yeah. All we need is for you to open that door. Yeah. All I need is an ounce of the bravery it took you to lead a Reaper away from innocent people. Yeah. You care. Yeah. I know you do. Yeah. No one would do what you did tonight if they didn't care about the lives of others. Yeah. Please help us, Arlo. Yeah. Please help me. I don't want to lose my life to this any more than you do. Yeah. Arlo looked Vahan in the eyes as he spoke. Yeah. She'd never seen anyone with a gaze that blue, and it was full of such intensity, such determination to do this incredibly dangerous thing no matter the cost. Yeah. No matter that he himself was still more or less a child, and that the ones who should be rallying others to their cause, people like the High King, were content to bury their heads in the sand and let it continue. Yeah. It's not easy, Music Girl. Yeah. It's difficult to make me listen. Yeah. But ignoring this problem wasn't going to make it go away. Yeah. If no one but a teenage boy and his bodyguard were going to try to do anything about it, if the world had somehow fallen to the shoulders of a child prince to keep it spinning, Vahan was going to do everything he could to meet that challenge and win. Yeah. Arlo could read all of that in his steady gaze. Yeah. It was the way he watched her back, as though he could see a hint of this in her himself, that made her look away. Yeah. That was the last yeah. No more nyas. Yeah, it literally just went off. Like I said, Mew, you're not always a good cat. Yeah, no more nyas, see? I've lost my place again. I'm about to start just doing it out of habit now. I almost just said yeah at the end of my sentence. What have you done? You've already conditioned my brain now. Okay, I will hydrate. Try to rinse the nyas out of my mouth. Ah, fuck. Why is Blurp broken? Why can't they fix their shit? You and me both, Hadel. Nope. Well, I don't know what's wrong with Blurp. So I'm gonna go turn all the sound redeems off for now. I'm gonna have to like switch over to sound alerts or something because Blurp is getting ridiculous. Why is it always broken? Okay, all the sound redeems are off. Since Blurp does not want to work. Okay, Mew. Okay, now where was I again? Arlo could read all of that in his steady gaze. It was the way he watched her back, as though he could see a hint of this in her himself, that made her look away. Without quite knowing why or what she was hoping to find, she glanced up at Nausicaa. She was met with a moment's complete inscrutability. I already saw the turtles, Jimmy. If you're talking about the turtles that Mew already posted on Twitter, I already saw those. She was met with a moment's oh, I already read that. I don't want to read that word again. Then all those sharp lines and hints of haunting truth took on a softness that was quite unlike her. It's your choice, she said. I mean, if you go, I guess I'll go with you, if you want. Someone needs to keep you from getting yourself killed. If nothing else, the prince will owe me big for it, and the debt of a future king might come in handy one day. But you have to make up your own mind here. The number one law of the universe is choice, after all. Bad things happen to the people who take that option away from you. It was Arlo's choice. Oh no, were they making sounds? I don't know if I want to hear them. She would have to be the one to decide the shape her future was going to take. She didn't want to be a hero. She didn't want to die. But would her life really be worth living if it meant never taking part in things, regardless of the risk? Oh no. Oh, I can understand why you're scarred then. Yeah, I definitely don't want to hear that. She thought of Nikos, putting his life and his magic on the line to help others who'd most likely never know. I'll think about it, she heard herself say. Vahan nodded eagerly, a private smile touching the corners of his mouth. Of course, our plans can wait a few more days. I'll give you my number. Would that be all right? That way you can reach me even when I return home. Arlo agreed. Everyone exchanged their numbers, including Nausicaa. The folk might not have liked how much technology had become a part of their lives, but goodness if they didn't like their phones as much as humans did. And they parted ways. Arlo watched Vahan and Aurelian join the throng of people on the sidewalk, then disappear around the corner, her heart heavy and head full of thoughts. She slipped her hand back into Nausicaa's, the spark of their contact almost comforting now, and together the pair winked out of existence once again. When they reappeared, it was on the cusp of yet another alley. This one ran across from the street from Arlo's apartment building. "Thank you," she said. Nausicaa nodded. She eyed Arlo carefully but said nothing about what she thought. The silence between them wasn't exactly awkward, but Arlo found herself yet again wanting to say something to fill it. "So, are you really going to help them then?" Nausicaa nodded again. "Yeah, figure it couldn't hurt to let it look like I'm just trying to keep the heir to a Seelie throne alive. And he's right, I am interested. I mean, whoever's behind this. They're a level too dark for even my taste, thanks. And I don't much care for them painting a target on your back, while we're on the subject. But they're creating Philosopher Stones, and that's something." She dropped a wink before retreating a step into the alley, away from Arlo, intent perhaps on whisking away. "I'm sorry," Arlo blurted out before Nausicaa could make her departure. For some tight and fluttering reason in her chest, she wasn't quite ready to part ways yet. Nausicaa paused to stare. "What for?" "For what that girl, your sister, Megara? I'm sorry for what she said to you. That hunter, back in the throne room? Eris, I think you called him. He said you were kicked out of the immortal realm, right?" Once again, a silent nod was all her question received. "I'm sorry for whatever happened that got you banished. I don't really know what you and your sister were talking about, but what made you break the law and kill those people way back? No one just snaps for no reason. Something really bad must have happened to you, and I'm just sorry for that, and... Well, are you okay?" The staring made Arlo uncomfortable. Rosy heat bled into her face. Nausicaa stood petrified under such sincerity, and they definitely weren't close enough to be sharing this kind of moment anyhow. Arlo got it. She understood. Hiking the bag she reclaimed from Vahan further up her shoulder, she gave an awkward little wave farewell. "I mean, of course you aren't. It's been a long day. Just, I wanted you to know that I'm sorry. It doesn't change anything, but yeah, okay, anyhow, I'll see you around, maybe? Try not to get into too much trouble in the meantime." At last, whatever spell Nausicaa was under broke. She snorted. "You're weird, you know that? I mean, you kicked a lot of ass back there with that Reaper. I've known full-grown, puffed-up fae who wouldn't have been able to even look that thing in the face like you did. And let me tell you, I'm going to treasure always the look on Megara's face when you slapped her. Seriously, whatever part of the heart... Whatever part of the heart cockles are? You've totally warmed them. What the fuck is a cockle?" You're something else, Arlo Jarsdale, but you're also weird as fuck. Yo, we love weird as fuck. Everyone should be weird as fuck. Arlo couldn't really disagree. Her whole life, she'd felt like an outsider in every space she tried to occupy. Weird. Somehow it didn't hurt to hear it now, the way Nausicaa said the term. "But thanks, I guess. I'm fine. It's in the past. I hardly even think about it anymore." She continued gruffly, and Arlo didn't need a lifetime in knowing her to be able to read the complete lie those words had been. "You're one of those people who's all tough and prickly, but actually very sweet, aren't you?" She teased in an attempt to make light of the situation and avoid mentioning what they both knew, that Nausicaa was nowhere close to fine, and what Megara said was only the tip of the iceberg. "Nah, I'm just as prickly on the inside as I am on the out, like a cactus wrapped up in more cactus. Yo, cactusception." Arlo laughed. "Okay, well, thank you, Cactus, for rescuing me once again. If I don't... I mean, I really won't be much help to you guys besides the whole door opening thing, if I can even manage that. So if I don't change my mind and don't come with you, please know that I still appreciate your help to me. If you're going to be all maudlin at me, I'm leaving. It's no big deal. I just... Well, that little girl in the cafe. Figure I owed her one. Wasn't able to help her, so... But I'm not a good person. Stop looking at me like that. This whole thing has been a completely selfish attempt to assuage my own guilt and nothing more." Arlo had no idea how she was looking at Nausicaa, whose eyes had blown a little wider and tan face was starting to tinge blue in her apparent discomfort. Whatever showed on Arlo's face, she felt her chest constrict again. Unable to comprehend why it should make her so sad to catch this glimpse of hurt and panic under Nausicaa's bravado, she laughed. Sure thing. Not a good person. The darkest star in the heavens. Got it. I so enjoy when you get sassy with me. Nausicaa winked, razor amusement displacing her previous discomfort to curl the corners of her mouth. Shaking her head, Arlo threw herself forward. This time she couldn't really chalk her action up to anything other than the desire to just do it. To wrap her arms around Nausicaa's middle with no more purpose than to give her a hug, as though they were friends, as though they were close. Good night, Nos. What? Arlo pulled back, confused. It took her a moment to mentally scroll back through their conversation and pick out what Nausicaa was stuck on now, and winced when she realized what she'd said. How familiar she treated someone easily centuries older than she, and quite a bit more important too. Sorry, it just slipped out, she explained and amended. Nausicaa. More silence. Nausicaa hadn't hugged her back, just stood there like a statue, as if in the so many years she'd been alive, and despite her many titles, no one had ever given her either an embrace or a friendly nickname. Or perhaps more accurately, as if it had been too many years since anyone dared to try. When it was apparent her apology would receive no reply, Arlo jerked a nod farewell and spun quickly on her heels. She would take her leave before her social awkwardness could cause any more damage. Sorry, she called one last time over her shoulder. See you around. She fled, leaving Nausicaa in the alley, and darted up the street to the crosswalk that would take her home. Her mother wouldn't be home for a few more hours yet, and with a brief text fired off to let her know she'd arrive home from a shift that ran a little late, she was finally left alone with her thoughts for the first time since she'd stepped outside Chorley's Curiosities for air. Yeah, we're all socially awkward. Trudging to her bedroom, she shucked off her torn and debris-stained clothes and collapsed on her bed. Lying atop her duvet, she watched the sunset pour in through the glass doors of her private balcony and bathe her ceiling in orange and pink and porcelain shades of blue. It had been less than 2 weeks since she'd turned 18 and witnessed death in the Good Vibes Only cafe. You know, it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet. So much had happened in so short a period of time. So much in Arlo's life had changed. So much was going to keep happening until someone put a stop to it. Vahan, Aurelian, Nausicaa, these were the sorts of people who became heroes in the stories she read. The bold, the brave, the talented, the ones who were able to look death in the face, and despite their fear, hold on to their resolve a moment longer than anyone else. I've known full-grown, puffed-up fae who wouldn't have been able to even look that thing in the face like you did. You're something else, Arlo Jarsdell. Arlo sighed, groaned, when she remembered how awkward she'd been in the alley, and wished she could go back and edit herself to come across a little more cool. Yo, don't we all? But Nausicaa had been proud of her tonight. She never exactly treated Arlo like a delicate and capable flower, but tonight had been the first time in their acquaintance she'd looked at and spoken to Arlo like an equal, like a friend. Maybe the problem wasn't that Arlo didn't have what it took to be a hero. Maybe the problem was that she was once again letting herself get so keyed up by all the things she wasn't that she couldn't see the things she already was. Resourceful and brave, and perhaps most importantly, not in this alone. Maybe if she could focus on these things instead, when all was said and done in Vahan's mysterious facility, she might come out the other side of this able to see herself in some way Nausicaa's equal to. You know, that was the end of the chapter. Yeah, that was a very short chapter, and the next one is even shorter, so we're going to read the next chapter, which is chapter 25, and it's in Nausicaa's perspective. Yeah, extra chapter. It's like, what, 5-6 pages? It's very short. You know, there's going to be an ad in a minute. Can I go ahead and snooze it so we can finish this chapter? That snoozes it for 5 minutes. That's not very long, but okay. Good night, Nos. Nausicaa had chucked a stone at the slumbery fountain below. Casa Loma, after hours, was much preferable to its daylight schedule of operation, where the gorgeous Gothic mansion tucked away in midtown Toronto was open to the public. As a tourist attraction and popular wedding venue, it was well maintained. The castle gray brick, white and gold trimmed windows, and spires dipped in burnt sienna were kept in as near pristine condition as could be managed, but it was the garden Nausicaa liked best. With its spring green lawn, artfully arranged flower beds, and sprawling fountain of crystal blue water, its loveliness was careful, austere perfection, a mass distracting from the towering oaks and creeping brush that fenced it in, the wild clawing at its seams. Good night, Nos. Good night, Alec. She chucked another stone at the moon's reflection in the water and watched the ripples expand. It had been too long since she received a nickname through any amount of fondness. Tisiphone called her many things. Clever things, silly things, sweet things, angry things. She hadn't been the first. She certainly hadn't been the last either, but nothing anyone had ever called her had caught her breath the way Arlo's Goodnight Nos had done in its timid sincerity. Damn it, she'd put too much work into closing herself off from things like this, into building walls to keep out others, and their familiarity. Arlo's little "Are you okay?" and "Goodnight Nos," that deity's damned hug, things no one had given her in too long. None of it should have struck her the way it did, and yet, "This isn't what I want," she growled. Yo, she's catching feelings, and she doesn't like it. I'm afraid you'll have to be more specific. Eris, finally. She'd been starting to wonder how many stones it would take to draw the attention she sought. Nausicaa turned around to beam at the four who stood behind her. I was starting to think you weren't actually bad at your job, you just didn't care. Yeah, imagine catching feelings for someone, how cringe. She knew the High King wanted her brought in just as she knew the Wild Hunt would have no problem doing so if they actually put their minds to it. Nausicaa was clever, and she could teleport with much less restriction than the Hunt, who could only go where night brought them, thanks to all the rules the courts had heaped on their presence here. Still, she hadn't exactly been hiding. She hadn't even left Toronto. And the positions of the four wild hunters occupied granted them special abilities. Eris, as the leader, would only have to take hold of her to temporarily nullify every bit of power she possessed. As she hadn't so much as run into any of them yet was one of the many things confusing her of late. It was time for some answers. Is that why you've summoned us? Eager for punishment, are you? Eris stepped forward. His midnight cloak fluttered around his legs, hood lowered to reveal bronze black and silver freckled skin that glittered in certain angles, like the heavens to which they rightfully belonged. Black hair with amber highlights, unnerving eyes the arsenic shade of white. Strong both in features and build, he was just as Nausicaa remembered him. You're a fool. Fortunately for you, so is the High King. After your story at the palace, I'd rather have you around for anything that happens, but don't think to press my magnanimity? I don't know what that word means. See, I always knew you liked me. I did, once. The disappointment peeking through Eris's terse tone was another blow Nausicaa hadn't expected to feel, but did. Yo, they ex-lovers? The Wild Hunt and the Furies. Their relationship had always been... there's lots of big words in this chapter. Tumultuous, at best, thanks to the lifelong competition between their units, but Nausicaa had been quite close to Eris and his cadre? Close to the point that he'd made her a cloak exactly like the ones all hunters wore, that only they could wear. Exquisite things, those cloaks, capable of so much, more than mortals knew about, including allowing Nausicaa to alter her appearance to the exact likeness of Eris in order to sneak where she wasn't meant to be, and secure the fire that had led her had led to her fall. More than 100 years later, he still hadn't forgiven her for betraying the friendship between them, for the rules he himself had bent or overlooked in the course of that, for permission he'd given her to take a life not otherwise meant to be taken. Just the one, not the 10 additional others she'd discovered to be just as despicable as their leader, and the trouble he'd landed in for when she'd rebelled. Out of everyone she'd lost since Tisiphone, it was him she missed the worst. What do you want, Nausicaa? To say sorry. For you to say you understand. To go back to the way we used to be before I realized how terrible everything was. Nausicaa opened her mouth, but none of the words she wanted to speak would come. Are you only going to talk to Eris then? Not a single hello for me? She breathed a laugh. The tension eased. Vesper glided forward, lowering Oh my gosh, there's neo pronouns in this book. Oh, there's an ad starting soon. I don't know. How do you pronounce the neo pronouns that have an X in them? I don't know how to pronounce those. Of course, I'm going to look that up to know how to pronounce it because I want to pronounce those correctly. Is it like make a Z sound? That's I'm looking it up because okay, so it is a Z sound. Oh my god, Z sound. Okay. That is so cool. I'm so glad this book has neo pronouns in it. That's what I thought, but I wanted to double check. She breathed a laugh. The tension eased. Vesper glided forward, lowering Ziz's hood as well. Long and lean, golden and starlight shimmery, with shocked yellow eyes and ivory green hair, and adamantine silver in place of bone for teeth. Z was much like Ziz's companions, beautiful in a disturbingly wraith-like way. Z was also the youngest, claimed by immortality at barely 16 years of age, and clearly much less angry with her than the others. Hello, Vesper. Needy as always, I see. She opened her arms, huffing when Vesper lunged a little too quickly for the embrace. You joined in, stronger, only a little shorter than Vesper, and slightly older, with liquid black hair, a pearly fawn brown complexion, and eyes brighter than violet poison. The adamantine weapons he'd been gifted were the twin daggers at his sides, which he could throw with unparalleled accuracy. The amount she also missed these two welled up so fiercely and so suddenly that Nausicaa felt her eyes begin to sting. Hi, Leth, she said, more coldly to the fourth and final member of the hunt. Leth sneered. His disdain wasn't new to her, and at the moment it was sour as his antifreeze gaze. He seemed even more irritable than usual, as good a reason as any to leave him alone. Enough. Vesper, you, remember yourselves. Aw, come on, Eris, Vesper whined. It's been years since the gang was all together. You, never one for words, where action would suffice, nodded fervently. Yo, use autistic. It's canon. A sharp look was all it took to remind the two of their place. As Eris was their leader of the group, his word was law among them. If he ordered them to do something, they had to comply. Vesper and Yu dropped away, falling back in line beside Leth, who busied himself with picking something out of his teeth with one of his deadly claws. When all was as it should be, Eris repeated, "Why have you called us here tonight, Nausicaa? I won't ask you again." Fine, spoil sport. She slid from the stone railing and onto her feet. Coming up to Eris, she planted herself in front of him and glared up into his stoic face. "I want answers. Specify. I want to know everything you know about these Ironborn deaths and the people apparently disappearing off the street in some sort of black market trade. I want to know what you know about Philosopher's Stones. I was so close to getting an actual damn name from that Reaper, the one I assume Leth had you report to the Furies for punishment." Nausicaa could hazard a guess as to why, though sure enough to bet on the fact that the Reaper had been wiped from the board because it had gone directly after the one mortal they wanted to keep safe, Arlo. But how did Leth fit into that? Leth didn't do anything for anyone unless it served a purpose he benefited from. And Leth's glare was absolutely frigid now. Perhaps he was angrier than usual merely because of the extra work Nausicaa would have preferred he hadn't undertaken. You know, I'm pretty sure Leth is Hero's hunter. He's gotta be. He mentioned something about Kava, she continued, jerking her head in his direction. That's deep water's bad shit, Eris. Why aren't more immortals involved in this? Why aren't the Furies acting on that? Why isn't the High King doing anything? Eris sighed. Frustration flickered across his expression. My hands are tied, Nausicaa. Whatever I could tell you, the High King has forbidden. Whatever Leth has told you, he shouldn't have. Then I challenge you. At last, she surprised him into genuine emotion. Eris gaped at her, white eyes wide. What? I challenge you. Pick your game. If you win, I'll leave you alone. If I win, you have to tell me what you know. Anyone who beats the hunt at a challenge earns a favor from them. That law is greater than the one that guards your tongue. Yes, and anyone who loses to us is taken to the High Wraith, turned into a beast, and hunted down for sport. Nausicaa shot a finger at him. Hence why I'd be leaving you alone. Come on, Eris, fight me. There was a silence for a moment, in which all that happened was a battle of wills. Eris stared her down harder than ever before, but Nausicaa matched his severity with cold determination. Eris, Leth practically moaned. There was such longing in his expression that Nausicaa actually shivered to see it. Eris, I know we have our differences. I know you're none too happy with my less than enthusiastic performance of late, but I beg you, let me take this challenge. Let me have this game. I promise you'll see remarkable improvement in my service if you do. Silence resumed. Eris turned his stare on Leth. Whatever the unrest in their ranks, Nausicaa wasn't surprised. Leth was oldest of them all, older than her by far. As rumor went, he was the very first hunter that Cosmin had ever made. By all rights, he should hold the rank Eris commanded, except he didn't want it. Hunters, for there were many, had once been living folk of remarkable ability, plucked from death and made immortal, employed as Cosmin's ferrymen for souls. Only the best of the lot, Cosmin's favorites, were given one of the 4 illustrious positions in the Wild Hunt, allowed to walk the mortal realm again as though once more alive, positions one could usurp only in a different sort of challenge. In life they'd been hunters as well, of all sorts. Leth had been a legend, but he'd also been cruel. Time hadn't soothed that vicious streak in him at all. In fact, it only made it worse, and left him wildly unstable. He wasn't leader of the hunt because he didn't want the responsibility, the shackle as he put it. But Nausicaa didn't envy how difficult he was to manage, how hard a time Eris had always had of keeping him in line. She might actually be screwed if Eris let Leth take this challenge. Damn it, she should have set better terms. No. Phew, Nausicaa laughed before she could stop herself, breathing with relief. Both Eris and Leth flicked a glance her way. I mean, oh no, how sad. Eris, Leth started. The answer is no. Rage contorted Leth's face, so briefly one might have missed it if they'd blinked. He looked as though he might do what he wanted anyhow, as was his custom, but instead just opened his mouth to argue further. Eris held up a hand. I will not reward your poor behavior. You take off without permission. Father only knows to wear and shirk responsibilities. When your performance improves, so will my favor. Vesper, I leave this to you. Vesper, a kindness of sorts. She wouldn't let herself read too much into this. Wouldn't let herself hinge too much hope on this action that Eris's anger was softening. But Nausicaa had already proven her ability to beat Vesper at a number of their games. Her odds of winning against Zim were at least better than they would be against Leth, even if Vesper wouldn't hold back by any means. This was a proper challenge. Z couldn't. Heck yeah, Vesper cried, pumping a fist in the air. It's on now, Alec. Just wait. I have the best. Z winced and tossed her an apologetic look. I'm sorry. I mean Nausicaa. Oh, yeah, because Nausicaa's name was something else when she was a Fury, so Alec was the nickname she was given off that name that I don't remember. Leth, meanwhile, fumed. Eris stalked back to you, and it was clear he meant for Leth to follow, but he took his time before doing so to ensure Nausicaa knew just how livid he was that Eris had prevented whatever form of torture he'd been looking forward to. She threw him a shrug. Come on, Nausicaa, come on. I have the best idea. Let's go. Vesper darted forward, taking her by the hand. The night descended. It spilled down around them as though the sky were a basin filled with ink, and something had tipped it over. She hated this form of travel. The night was cool and vaguely slick. It wasn't wet, but it felt as though she was getting close and personal with sludge, and when it enveloped her completely, it filled her with a sense of being buried alive. That sludge spat her out again on the roof of one of the city's buildings. Eris, you, and Leth were gone. Only she and Vesper remained, and Z watched her now with barely restrained glee, the late night breeze tossing Z's hair around Z's Vulpine face. Okay, kid, what do you have for me? How about a game of fetch? A game of fetch? What? Nausicaa rolled her eyes to hide a swell of fondness. Fetch, they called it. Running off into the world, hunting down the deadliest creature they could find and bringing back a trophy for proof of their encounter. Depending on the players, that trophy was often the creature's head, but Vesper had a kinder soul. Z preferred to stick to bits that wouldn't be sorely missed by their owners. Usual rules? Vesper nodded. Sunrise is the limit. We meet back here. Ready to get your ass handed to you, Kraken? Z grinned, showing off all Z's pointy metal teeth. However much fondness between them, Z was still a hunter. Z's entire immortal purpose was to win at things like this. Nausicaa didn't hold it against Zim. In fact, her answer was a grin of her own. When Vesper whisked Zim's self off once more, Nausicaa remained where she was. She already had what she needed to win, gathered from the High Wraith just hours ago. In fact, on the off chance it would be useful. And hours later, when Vesper returned, it proved to be extremely so. She dropped that single hair on the rooftop next to the dragon scale Z threw at her feet, and Vesper groaned, defeated. Z dropped to hug Z's knees in a spectacular pout. No fair, how did you even get that? It doesn't matter, I win. Leth outmonsters your dragon. Now tell me what you know about what's going on with the Ironborn. Z sighed. Wait, so her thing that she brought back was a hair from Leth? I feel like that's cheating. Alright, that was the end of chapter 25. We're getting so close to finishing the book. Hopefully we can finish it Tuesday. So I'm still streaming Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully. As long as nothing happens.
Would you come around? I will keep you safe and sound after all this time.
Oh my goodness. Why do I have to type out their entire name before they pop up? I think my mods are distracted, so I will do the raid message because I actually remember to. I got distracted. I should probably pull Pyro's stream up so I can hear. That would be helpful. Okay, yeah, we should be streaming tomorrow. I'm gonna read some more and probably play Muse Dash after so we can get Miku. But bye!